Confession time. I got fired from my 9 to 5 office job and went into sex work to pay the bills. In place of my non existent emergency fund, I had revolving credit card debt to the tune of 6,000 Canadian dollars, a not so great credit score, and bills to pay. I spent the week after I got fired applying for every job I found. I didn't even get calls for interviews. I vaguely remembered that an acquaintance of mine used to work at an adult massage studio in town. It seemed like a decent way for me to be able to get some cash to put food on the table and pay my rent. Here's how it actually goes down. It's totally different in every studio, but I really like the way we do it. We work cash only, and we always take the money up front. We also have very strict pricing. The pricing is stated on our website, so the clients know how much we charge. We're a high-end studio, so the prices range from 120 to 260 Canadian, about 90 to 200 US, depending on what they want and how long they're staying. These are just for the massage. Extras are more. My boss always makes sure the girls know their worth. In fact, she has a saying about it: bitches don't go on sale. The strict pricing keeps one attendant from underselling themselves to steal clients from other attendants, and it makes sure that we're getting a standard minimum for our time. Necessary disclaimer: in Canada, where I live, it's legal to sell sex, but the purposefully confusing laws make it difficult to do so safely. Every studio is different, and there's no standard across the board for how many clients you'll get in a week or how payment works. I, of course, don't support human traffickers, and my colleagues and I are independent contractors who are not forced to work at any time. We can refuse a client for any reason. Anyone getting a bad vibe from a studio or being forced to work without appropriate pay should seek legal help immediately. The client comes in, and one lady opens the door and welcomes him. Our front door is always kept locked, and we have a 24/7 security system, so we can see who comes in before we open the door. Everyone working introduces themselves, then goes back to the employee lounge. We don't have clients pick in front of a lineup. Personally, I find that demeaning, and it also puts the client on the spot. He says who he wants to see, and then he's shown to a room. They have their session, and when they're done, the attendant leaves and gives the client a couple of minutes to get dressed before seeing him out. When it comes to work-life balance, I only work 3 times a week, 2 weeknights and 1 weekend shift, normally Sundays. I have additional streams of income, including cleaning and writing. I also have total freedom when I'm working. As long as I'm not leaving a coworker alone with a client, I can run and get some takeout or coffee as I please. I spend a lot of my time when I'm not with clients, either catching up on Netflix or doing something creative. It's hard to keep this work from my family and close friends, though. I wish I could tell my family, but I'm not ready for that. I don't think I ever will be. My mom and I are really close, which makes it even harder. The studio I work in is super low-key. We send the shifts we can work, and our manager schedules us. I take cash home every night instead of getting a paycheck. After we pay our room fees, about 40% of the house, I take home 100 Canadian on a slow night or 400 to 500 Canadian on a good night. I've seen other girls take home more than that. Keep in mind, sometimes we have really slow nights and I don't take home a penny, but the good nights tend to be more frequent, which makes the time worth it. And when we're not seeing clients, the girls just hang out, watch the client list on Netflix, bitch about our boyfriends and snacks. Honestly, it reminds me of a middle school sleepover, but everyone goes home at midnight. I'll stop doing this work when it interferes with either my real life or sex life. If I ever go home and not want to have sex with my romantic partner, I'll know it's a sign to leave. I never wanted to take a toll on my real life. Or I'll stop when I stop making money. I've gone a couple weeks at a time making nothing, which sucked. But my city is in a depression, so every industry is slow. But it's been gradually picking up again. Saving for emergencies is easier now, for a couple of reasons. It's a very good turnaround for a side hustle, so the up in income is a big part of it. I also need to make sure I'm saving for and investing in my future self. Mostly, I've had a huge change in mindset about my credit card. Before, it was a just for emergency card. The thing is, you'll convince yourself new shoes are an emergency, and then before you know it, you've maxed out the card. Now I put as many bills on the credit card as I can so I can earn cash back, then pay it off as quickly as possible. I'm happy to say I'm almost paid off all my debt. In the future, there will always be more emergencies, but I want to make sure that I can take care of them from a liquid account and not a credit card. I actually love this work right now. I love the clients and I love my colleagues, and I like being able to take control of my body and my financial decisions. Sure, it's not my dream job or something I want to do for the rest of my life, but it gets the bills paid now and leaves me a lot of time to pursue my passions.